Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Warner Brothers, Ezra Miller, The Flash. It's a saga that just seems to be ongoing, continuing down quite a large, strange rabbit hole. All of this stuff is taken from a whole bunch of reports that have been circulating around for a little while now. And yeah, it seems Warner Brothers are just burying their head in the sand. They have two individuals, two actors that are both completely off the rails and are PR disasters. So Ezra Miller, that dude is completely off the rails, we know that. And then you've got, of course, Amber Heard, the PR disaster. But Warner Brothers is reportedly committed to releasing The Flash in theatres. Now, I think this is more of a budget thing than anything else, mainly because they cannot be held accountable for their stars' actions, obviously, but they can be held accountable for if they, you know, sideline a movie directly into HBO Max as opposed to releasing it in theaters. The shareholders can be disgruntled by this, I'm sure, or at least, you know, there's more accountability under that factor. They can be to blame at that point. Now, also, just want to take this opportunity, just briefly before we dive into this a little bit further anyway. I think I got banned from Twitter. The movie Slob, someone I'd never even heard of, that movie Bob, or whatever his name is. Genuinely never even heard of this individual. Decided to retweet a whole bunch of my tweets. And obviously, most individuals that, you know, choose to do something like that, they don't do it with the best of intentions. Without context, I obviously responded to said ridiculous tweets. And yeah, hey, apparently that's not allowed. Yeah, you get banned from Twitter. So I don't really know if I'm allowed on Twitter anymore. Twitter can go fuck itself for the time being anyway. But I thought I'd just let you all know why there seems to be an absence of me on Twitter anyway. That is why. Because someone, presumably Movie Slob, reported me like a bitch. But anyway, let's check this out, right? So The Flash has had, obviously, a very complicated road towards the big screen. We know that. It does have a good director. I mean, Andy Muschietti is good. He is a good director. He's done decent things in the past, outside of just it. You know, he did that film Mama, which I really liked. I thought that was a decent film, to be honest. Very, you know, Del Toro, as he was the producer on that. But Andy Muschietti did a good job as well. Now, it's been pushed back by a whole year, sort of, anyway. You know, original release date November of this year. Now we're looking at June of next year. So it has been delayed pretty massively. But now moving forward, because of all of these issues with Ezra Miller, loads of people have been wondering if it is even indeed going to be released in theatres. Especially with new management over at Warner Brothers, i.e., you know, Zaslav of Discovery. So that's been the big question. What are they going to do? Are they going to put it on HBO Max? But it's looking like they are 100% committed. 100% committed. Now, Deadline in June said that the studio, and Zaslav specifically, because he inherited this problem, was just assessing the landscape, seeing what options were there. However, the most recent up-to-date report is from Variety, where they detail, and I did a video on this, there's a whole bunch of new accusations, you know, further elaborations on accusations with respect to Miller's actions against women, very specifically. His targets always seem to be women. But Variety said, and they were very particular in stating that, but they say it's unclear whether Miller will continue to perform as the Scarlet Speedster in future projects, but Warner Brothers is still committed to releasing its $200 million budgeted tentpole The Flash in theatres. So that's the key part there. They're revealing this budget. They're putting it out there. Quite a lot, in fact. Quite a lot. And it was a previous Variety report that stated Warner Brothers wanted to move forward with the theatrical run. And it would make sense. $200 million, they have to make a lot of money on that to actually make money. You know, they have to take a lot of cash to make money on this. You know, far more than just $200 million. You're going to have a fair amount of marketing, although that still remains to be seen. But you'd be looking at and being very conservative, and I mean being very conservative, you'd still be looking at the need to hit over $400 million to start breaking even. And I'm being very generous to the film, you know, to say that it's not having much of a budget for marketing, but I think it will. But this seems to be the thing, right? Variety reiterating the Barry Allen standalone adventure was very expensive. Deadline put the film's budget at $200 million, which Variety are now saying. So it seems to be something that they are, you know, they're very happy to throw out there as, hey, look, this is basically the reason. And also Variety and Deadline are all but confirming that that is the budget. Now they say this here, you know, it makes putting it on HBO Max or cancelling its release or even going back into production with another start unfeasible scenarios. The latter is reportedly due to the fact that Miller is in virtually every scene. It's not technically true. With deepfake technology you can actually do quite a lot with that, regardless of him being in every scene. And they reshot, you know, they removed Kevin Spacey from All the Money in the World, I think was the film, and reshot that with someone completely new. You can do it, but I think we're in an interesting situation here with Warner Brothers that they don't want to do it, and I think that they're just going to attempt to try, you know, to let the film stand on its own legs outside of Miller, but that's almost impossible because of who he is, you know, and because of his own actions, and because of the fact that he's the central character. The story cannot stand separate to Ezra Miller because he doesn't play the Flash like the Flash, and I think that's important as well. And mark my words, this will be, I think, one of the downfalls of the movie, is Warner Brothers understandably are wanting this movie to, you know, stand on its own 2 feet. I get that. I just don't think it's going to be possible. Now, obviously, Variety do say Miller hopes to talk about the accusations against him in future, but he's taken time to himself to focus on his health and healing over the coming months. So, it's interesting. It is interesting. I don't think this is going to go particularly well for Warner Brothers regardless, but this doubling down is not good, but I can understand it. But it is just a total S-hole of a situation. So let me know what you think down below. Is this a movie that you're going to see in theatres? Can Michael Keaton save this film for you? Let me know. Cheers, guys. Take care. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out my Teespring store. Supporting the channel via this way does go a long way, but also, not only that, you do get to wear some awesome merch. These are one-of-a-kind designs designed for me by my graphic designer. We, of course, have our Clown World line, which is in mugs, hoodies, t-shirts. We've got Space Jeebus. And then for something a little bit different, we, of course, have right down at the bottom right here, we have our Pulsar GTIR. Also, ladies and gentlemen, consider checking out and supporting my second channel, which is Car Nonsense. This is a vlog and car channel. You can find links to this in the description box, along with my Teespring. Please do consider supporting.